Oh my lord. I've been holding off on this video for a little while now. I thought it over, probably not hard enough, but I think after recent events, it's time.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. No, I wasn't thinking about it.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way, yeah.
The newest Class 1 freight railway, Canadian, Pacific Kansas, and City, has recently released their official paint scheme, which I'll talk about later in this video. That's not really the main point. Okay, I guess I didn't write any long-winded intro for this video. If you want to skip to the actual fixed logo part, there should be timestamps somewhere here. Alright, let's go. I kinda wanted to do a standalone video on this, but let's just merge the history of the CPKFC into this circus of a video. Out of nowhere in early 2021, talks began surfacing of a possible acquisition of the KCS system by the CPR. Going into the year, multi-billion-dollar bids were going back and forth between Canada's two largest Class 1 railways, CP and CN, for KCS. CP had planned to buy the KCS for $29 billion. CN caught wind of this and counter-offered with $33 billion. However, CN was blocked from using a voting trust to take over the KCS by the STB because of concerns of reduced competition. Which honestly, I don't see why that would be a concern these days. Like, there is pretty much no competition. You've got 4 Class 1 railroads in the US and 2 in Canada. Not much to compete with there if you're a customer, especially up here in Canada. It's either the red pill or the blue pill. Or trucks. CN's acquisition wouldn't have made any sense either way, because their own trackage they yoinked from the Illinois Central back in '99 pretty much parallels the KCS down to the Gulf of Mexico. I feel as if they would have just sold off most of the system and kept the trackage to and inside of Mexico. KCS said they'd keep CN's offer in mind unless CP increased their amount. CP increased their final offer to $31 billion and CP increased their final offer to $31 billion and KCS accepted. At that point, CN had lost the battle for Kansas City. In December 2021, CP, using a voting trust, became the owners of the KCS, KCSM, and Panama Canal Railways. And as we all know, the darkest day of the year came on April 14th, 2023, bringing an end to one of the most historically significant and iconic rail companies in North America. Oh, and the KCS too, I guess. The name CPKC itself is just not it. Other railroads that have merged in the past few decades have somewhat creatively bankrupt names, but they still roll off the tongue a lot better than CPKC. For example, BNSF. It rolls off the tongue great. CSX. Actually, I don't know, it's not bad, but honestly it would just be better if it was just still chassis system. And despite how big of a stinker they are, Norfolk Southern probably has the best name out there. If you want to look at it this way, they kinda just took the name of the original Norfolk Southern Railway. But as far as I'm concerned, and probably what they'll tell you, it's an amalgamation of the Norfolk and Western and the Southern. And it works. CPKC, chosen by Keith Creel, the president and CEO, was chosen to honor the heritage of both companies as per a Trains magazine article. The name, along with not rolling off the tongue like other mergers, doesn't really get the point across of what they do for a lack of better explanation. The name makes it sound like a subsidiary or something like that of CP that's located in Kansas City. I think there was some other better options for a new name, such as the Canada Southern. The CASO would be a perfect combination of the two companies' names, Canada from the CPR and Southern from the KCS and KCSM. It would get straight to the point. It's a Canadian railway that runs south into the US and now Mexico. The problem with this is, I don't even know who the castle name belongs to anymore. It was a New York Central road for the longest time, and then of course Penn Central happened, and then later on Conrail. And now that Conrail is pretty much split between NS and CSX, I don't know if one or the other or both own the rights to the Canada Southern name. Anyways, the other would be CP Rail System. Literally CP Rail System. The name was right there, right under their noses. The dual flag could have been modified into a new tri-flag. The system in the name could have signified literally every single road under the CP, like the SU, the DNH, the CMQ, and now the KCS lines. Does CP, or CPKC now, not own the rights to the multi-mark era branding anymore? Like, they constantly brush past this colorful and innovative era in their history. I think it's high time they acknowledge it. I know some people were critical of the dual flags era of CP Rail in the 90s, but I think this name would have been even better suited for the current state of the company. Alright, with that out of the way, it's finally time to talk about... On day one of CPKFC, the logo was dropped and it was... wow, literally nothing had changed. The logo was a modification of the New Edge Beaver logo introduced back in 2017 or so, with the Canadian Pacific in the circle being replaced with the main three railroads making up the new company. The shield under the beaver slightly changed. There's less stripes around the maple leaf symbol to signify how little effort was put into the branding. I think the logo itself could use a little tweaking. Now, by no means am I a graphic designer, but there's things I'm sure many people who are watching the video will notice about it, whether you're a professional, amateur, or not at all a graphic designer. The logo is asymmetrical in some ways. Let's just draw a line from the letter K in the KCS to the M in KCSM. And would you look at that, they don't line up. The line matches with the KCS of the name, but the M sticks out past the line. It's not really a massive deal, but it's still pretty bad. That's why I like to share with you my cheap fix for the branding, if the name sticks forever. Because who knows, they could, and should, pull a CN or UP and treat the merger as what it was supposed to be in the first place, an acquisition. Please? Could you do that, please? Alright, here we go. Here's... yeah, okay, this was just kind of slapped together. The main thing I fixed was the road names being off-kilter, I guess. The TFM, or... yeah, I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that. The TFM was created in the late 90s after the privatization of Mexico's national rail network. It came under the full ownership of the KCS in 2005, becoming KCS de Mexico. I'm kinda on the fence about the font for the letters around the circle. The current Bank Gothic-ish font used by CP starting in 1997 has kinda overstayed its welcome. It's not bad, but it's kinda dated. It looked fine in the 2000s, I guess, but a lot of companies nowadays are using bubblier, minimalistic-ish fonts, if you get what I'm saying. So I thought the CPKC letters in the banner could use the multi-mark dual flag era font. I think it makes it pop a little more. I feel as if they used the current CP font to invoke a sense of strength. Like, if you look at it, the font feels kinda aggressive, to me at least. Like they're saying, "Ship with us or we'll bite your nuts off! Ugh! Yeah, America!" The 1881 in the middle is using a Futura bold font. It looks not too bad, I guess. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Just some minor fixes I thought could make the logo a little better. But really, they should have came up with a completely new logo instead of reusing a tired old one from the CP, to really drive home the point that they're one new company. Psst! Hey, the multi-mark, use it again. It's right there, bro, just use it. There's also this tri-flag design that's literally just a NAFTA flag thing that I slapped the multi-mark style CPKC logo onto. The Bank Gothic font from the Golden Beaver era has kinda overstayed its welcome. I mean, hey, the CPKC name itself has overstayed too, and it's only been a year. Now, I guess to wrap up the video, we've got to talk about the newly released locomotive paint scheme.
Oh, fucking hell, what's that, Nick?
So, a year ago, right, CP holds a poll with employees to vote on a new paint scheme. Here's option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, and option 5. Everybody knows by now, but they went with numero uno. Probably maybe the second worst option they could have picked.
Oh, no. No.
Like, option 1 is pretty bad. Literally just a DeviantArt recolor of CN, but backwards. Option 2 sucks ass. Option 3 kind of went hard. Option 4 was not as great. And then option 5 was pretty good. People constantly compare the new scheme to the one used on the AWVR engines in the 2010 movie Unstoppable. Like, honestly, if CPKFC got the rights to the scheme from the movie, this would still be a better looking paint job than what they've got now. I'm 190% sure they just went with it because it was the most cost-effective one to mass reproduce onto engines. But you're telling me the majority of employees voted for this? Ain't no way. This has to have been the doings of the soulless shareholder. They were probably just saying employees to make it seem like the employees had a say in it. Railfans, as usual, came up with much better looking schemes, incorporating designs from the CP and the KCS into beautiful looking paint schemes. We let them cook and they burnt the kitchen down. Overall, I stand firm as a hater of the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway. Will I still refer to them as CP, or better yet, CP Rail? Hell yeah. Am I still gonna stand at railway crossings looking like an idiot taking pictures of CP trains? Of course! Because I will never not be salty about losing the railway that built this great nation. I will always love CP. Yo, pause, not that kind of CP. I'm not a certain Florida foamer. Don't do that, Chase. Don't do that. We're not Minecraft YouTubers, Mr. Gibson. God. Now with that all being yapped about, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, as always. Join the channel membership for exclusive videos, sneak peeks of upcoming slop, and some other goodies like maybe a special role in the Discord server. Still working on it. For now, this has been the Winnipeg Railfan saying, as the great Ellen DeGenerate once said, be nice in the comments, don't diddle kids, and have a good Tuesday. Bye! Ah!